It all starts with our schooling, then college, graduation, and then we get a job, that too if we are really lucky or if we have some really good skill sets. So while you're doing your job, have you ever thought that do you have enough sufficient funds for your retirement? Do you have sufficient funds so that you can retire at 40, 45, 50, 55, or whatever age you have chosen for yourself? If that is not the case, then by the time you retire, you will find scarcity of funds, and that will create a huge problem in your old age, and you will have to depend on others for your needs. While you're doing your job, you are required to leave your hometown and settle in some other city in most of the cases, in which case you'll have to pay for your living costs. So if you have already purchased a flat, you are liable to pay a EMI every month, or else if you're living on rent, you need to pay the rent every month as well. Other expenses like food, travel, and various other expenses erode your salary, due to which there is very less funds left in the end of the month which you can invest for your future or for your retirement. So in this video, we are going to talk about how you can gain 1 crore rupees at the age of 40. So in this video, we'll be talking about how you can get 1 crore rupees by way of frequent investments till the age of 40 by proper planning, by proper strategy, and by starting early, you can gain this feat. So check out this full video because we are going to talk about some very useful tips and hacks, as you can call them, which will help you to reach this figure at the earliest. So check out this full video. We are going to talk about a couple of equity investments in this video which will help you gain 1 crore rupees till the age of 40. We're going to talk about mutual funds and stock markets. Both these instruments are equity instruments and they are useful for gaining more returns ahead of the inflation. So these instruments will help you beat inflation and gain returns in the real sense. So let's take an example. Let's consider two friends, Ram and Sham. Let's consider that Ram gets a job at the age of 23 and he starts his investment journey. And if he invests rupees 15,000 per month in mutual funds, wherein you can assume a growth rate of 12% per year. So assuming a growth rate of 12% per year in mutual funds is very normal, because we know that the returns in mutual funds can go up to 12, 15, 16% as well. That is on the higher end, but you can consider an average figure to be around 12%, which you can gain by way of a conservative large cap fund or even a hybrid fund. So assuming 12% is a generalized figure that we are considering over here. So if Ram invests 15,000 rupees and if it grows at 12% per year, and because his age is 23, he's got 17 more years to reach the age of 40. So if he starts at 23 and invests 15,000 rupees per month till the age of 40, he will gain a figure of 1 crore rupees. And what is the source for this mathematical calculation? Friends, it is just that compound interest formula which every one of us has learned in our 7th or 8th standards, which says that A is equal to P 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power of n, where A is the amount, P is the principal, R is the rate of return, which is 12 in this case, and n is the number of years, which is 17 in this case. So in this way, we can find out that how Ram can earn 1 crore in 17 years, that is till the age of 40. Now, most of you will argue, and which is a valid argument, that can really a person who is at the age of 23 invest 15,000 rupees per month? And I have a solution to this problem as well. So in the coming slides, we will see how, if not 15,000 rupees, you can attain the same figure by investing just 8 to 9,000 rupees as well, or even 5,000 rupees. So watch the video till the end so that you get the complete information. Let's talk about the other friend, Sham. So let's assume that Sham does not get a job at 23, but he gets the job after a few years, let's say at the age of 26. Now, if Sham invests 15,000 rupees per month from the age of 26, he has got 14 years to complete the figure of 1 crore rupees. And he can do that by investing in stock markets. So in stock markets, we are considering a CAGR, that is a compounded annual growth of around 16%. Now you can also argue whether 16% is a realistic return if we are considering the stock markets. So to give you a statistic over here, Indian Sensex, which is a parameter of the Indian stock market, has grown by 17% compounded every year since its inception. So when the index itself has grown by 17% per year, if you are really good at investing in the stock markets, you should be able to beat the index, and hence you can gain more than 17 or 16% for that matter. So considering a figure of 16% is again a very generalized assumption. So if Sham does that for the coming 14 years till the age of 40, he will gain his figure of 1 crore. But then you can also argue that really is 15,000 possible even at the age of 26. Leave aside the age of 23. Is it possible at the age of 26? Because most of our friends are good at investing. They are able to invest if they get a good job, but most of them are not so well versed with investments. Neither they have sufficient funds at that age for investments. So we'll get to the crux of this matter, and I'll tell you how you can invest less but get more effect. We'll be talking only about equity investments, mutual funds, or stock markets. We're not going to include any betting or any kind of a lottery system over here. So stay tuned till the end and I'll tell you how that is possible. Before that, let's take a few more cases. Let's take case number 3. So in case number 3, if someone who is doing a job and if is not able to invest 15,000 rupees, but if he manages to invest 10,000 rupees per month for the coming 17 years into stock markets where we're assuming a return of 16%, then also he can reach the figure of 1 crore till the age of 40. Let's take another case. Let's take case number 4, wherein if somebody who is not able to invest rupees 10,000 but he invests rupees 5,000 rupees per month at the age of 22, and if he's doing that in the stock markets, still he can reach the figure of 1 crore, but he won't reach the figure of 1 crore in 40 years. It will take him 3 more years to reach that figure, and he'll reach 1 crore in 43, at the age of 43. Let's take yet another case, and let's assume if somebody is not interested in investing in the stock markets for any personal reason he might have, and if he chooses for investment in mutual funds, still if he starts at the age of 22 and if he invests 5,000 rupees per month for the coming 17 or 18 years, then also he can reach the figure of 1 crore, but then he'll not get that in 40 or 43, he'll reach that figure in 47. So he'll be a crorepati at the age of 47, which is not bad anyway. So if you're getting that figure below the age of 50, it is still a very good figure. But here, one thing which we must note is the time value of money. So will 1 crore at the age of 40 or 43 or 47 be equivalent to the 1 crore now? No. If you consider an inflation of around 8%, which is again a very generalized figure, if you have 3.7 crores at the end of 17 years from now, then that value will be equivalent to the 1 crore today. If you have 3 crores after 14 years from now, that is in 2034, that will be equivalent to 1 crore today. So this is how inflation erodes your buying capacity and the time value of money comes into play. Now let's go back to our case of Ram and Sham, which is case number 1 and case number 2. So in the case of Ram, he needs 15,000 rupees per month for 17 years because he is starting at the age of 23. But what if I tell you that instead of 15,000 rupees, Ram will need only 8,600 rupees starting from the first month, and still he can gain that figure of 1 crore at the age of 40? Yes, that is possible, and the concept by which this is made possible is called as the concept of SIP top up, in which Ram will have to increment his SIP installment or top up his SIP installment by 10% every year. So if he starts at 8,600 rupees from the first month and every year he adds on 10% to it, he will reach the figure of 1 crore as he was doing earlier by investing 15,000 rupees per month. So you can manage to get the same figure by a 60% lesser value. Instead of 15,000, you're needing just 8,600 rupees from the first month. And in the case of Sham, if he's needing 15,000 rupees for the coming 14 years because he's starting at the age of 26, that value will come down to 11,000 rupees from the first month if he employs the concept of SIP top up and increments his SIP by 10% every year. So he will reach 1 crore at the age of 40 there also. So I'm sure most of you must be amazed by listening to this concept of incremental increase in your investment amount and what magical effect it has in the long run. So if you can start now, you will also gain 1 crore in the stipulated amount of time that you have decided for yourself. Or if you're already a crorepati, then you must aim for 100 crores. So by what we have discussed till now, two important points come to the limelight. The first one is that you must start early. If you start early, you get sufficient amount of years to reach your figure of financial freedom and to gain the corpus that you need for your retirement. You can do that without depending on anybody at that point of time. Also, by gaining the figure at an early age, you can prevent yourself from working till the very old age. The second point to remember here is that you must increase your investment amount incrementally and frequently so that the compounding effects come into play and you reach your figure of retirement or the figure of 1 crore in this case at a very early age. So if you like this video, if you found value out of this video, like the video as well as subscribe the channel so that you join us in our journey of financial freedom. Thank you.